When my husband's mistress called me crying about the beach house he bought her, I knew exactly what to do. See, he didn't know I'd been 10 steps ahead for months. And when they walked into that mansion, champagne in hand. Oh, honey, the look on their faces was priceless. Before we get into this mess, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you're not going to want to miss how this story ends. Trust me, it gets good. Now, let me tell you how I turned my husband's biggest betrayal into the sweetest victory of my life. You know, for 15 years, I thought I had it all figured out. My name is Camila. I'm 42 years old, and I worked my behind off to become a hospital administrator. My husband, Raymond, was 47, a real estate developer who'd built up a nice little empire over the years. We had 2 beautiful kids in college, a gorgeous home in the suburbs, and from the outside, we looked like the perfect power couple. Country club on Saturdays, church on Sundays, dinner parties where everyone envied our life. But honey, let me tell you something. Perfect is usually just a pretty mask covering up a whole lot of ugly. It started small, the way these things always do. Strange charges on our joint credit card for jewelry. I never received a perfume smell in his car that definitely wasn't my signature scent. Those weekend business trips that used to happen once a month suddenly became every other week. And Raymond, my husband, who used to text me throughout the day, started leaving his phone face down everywhere he went. Now, I'm not a paranoid woman, but I'm not a fool either. Something in my gut told me to pay attention, so I did. Then came the night that changed everything. I was getting ready for bed when my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. My heart dropped when I opened it. The text said, "Your husband promised me something better than this." And attached was a photo of Raymond with his arm around a young woman. She was pretty. I'll give her that. Maybe 29 with perfect skin and a smile that said she didn't have a care in the world. Later, I'd find out her name was Amber, and she was a dental hygienist who believed every lie my husband told her. Now, a lot of women might have stormed into the bedroom right then and confronted him. They might have thrown his clothes on the lawn or smashed his car windows, but I've always believed that revenge is a dish best served cold. And honey, I was about to serve up a whole frozen feast. Instead of reacting, I did something smarter. I started investigating. The next morning, I called a private investigator that a friend had recommended. Best $1,200 I ever spent. While Raymond thought I was just going about my normal routine, working at the hospital, having lunch with girlfriends, attending book club, I was building a case. I started documenting everything. Every late night text he thought I didn't notice. Every credit card statement, every business trip that didn't quite add up. And let me tell you, once you start looking, the evidence piles up real quick. Over the next 3 months, I became a woman on a mission. I opened a separate bank account that Raymond didn't know about and started quietly moving money. Not enough that he'd notice right away, but enough to protect myself. I also started taking photos of our assets, getting documents in order, and making copies of everything financial that had both our names on it. See, Raymond and I had built our wealth together. I wasn't just some housewife spending his money. I had my own career, my own income, and my name was on half of everything we owned. He seemed to forget that part. The private investigator came back with a full report that made my blood boil. The affair had been going on for 18 months. 18 months of lies, sneaking around and playing me for a fool. But what really got me wasn't just the cheating. It was what he was planning to do. My investigator found emails from a secret account where Raymond was promising Amber their future together. He told her he was leaving me, that we were basically already separated, and that she just needed to be patient a little longer. The man was living an entire double life. And then I found out about the house. Raymond was planning to buy Amber, a seaside mansion in a neighboring state for $425,000. A whole house using money from the equity in properties that I had helped him build. Properties that had my name on them, too. He was literally planning to steal from our marriage to set up his mistress in luxury. When I read those emails, something in me went ice cold. This wasn't just about an affair anymore. This was about him trying to destroy everything we'd built so he could play house with a woman young enough to be our daughter. I called my best friend Nicole, who happens to be a lawyer, and we hatched a plan over a bottle of wine in her living room. She explained to me that since Raymond and I were still legally married, any major purchase he made was technically marital property. We could use that. She helped me file for legal separation quietly without Raymond knowing. We documented every single asset, every property, every investment account. My accountant showed me exactly how our money was flowing and where Raymond was hiding funds. My brother, who's a contractor, agreed to help me with what came next. Then Nicole found the closing date for the mansion. Raymond had tried to be sneaky, using a shell company to make the purchase, but we tracked it down. The closing was scheduled for a Friday afternoon, and Raymond had told me he'd be at a business conference that whole weekend. I knew exactly what that meant. He was planning to take Amber to see their new love nest. Well, I had news for both of them. Using a legal loophole that Nicole explained to me, we got a court order. Since Raymond and I were still married and he'd used marital funds for the down payment, I had legal rights to that property. My lawyer contacted the title company with the court documents. And just like that, I became a 50% owner of that beach house before Raymond even got the keys. He had no idea what was coming. 2 days before the big reveal, I flew out to that coastal town with Nicole and my brother as witnesses. I had divorce papers prepared, evidence folders ready, and a speech rehearsed in my head. When we got to the mansion, and I walked through it for the first time, I have to admit, Raymond had good taste. The place was beautiful. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the ocean. A modern kitchen with marble countertops for spacious bedrooms, and a wraparound deck that caught the sunset perfectly. Under different circumstances, I might have actually loved this house. And you know what? I decided right then that I was going to keep it. We set up in the main living room where the ocean view was spectacular. I had my lawyer's briefcase on the coffee table, champagne chilling in a bucket. Not for celebration, but for dramatic effect, and I sat there in my favorite cream pantsuit, looking like I owned the place, which legally I did. I checked the Ring camera we'd installed at the entrance and watched the driveway. My heart was pounding, but I kept my face calm. This was my moment, and I was going to savor every second. Around 6 o'clock in the evening, I saw his BMW pull up. Through the camera, I could see Raymond getting out of the driver's side, looking pleased with himself in his expensive suit. Amber got out of the passenger side, holding a bouquet of flowers, wearing a sundress, and laughing at something he said. They looked like a couple from a romance movie. All smiles and excitement. Raymond pulled out a set of keys, his keys to their future, or so he thought, and they walked toward the front door, talking about where they should put furniture and what color to paint the guest room. The door opened, and I heard Amber's voice first. "Oh my God, Raymond, it's even more beautiful than the pictures." They were so caught up in their own happiness that they didn't notice me right away. Raymond was saying something about how this was their fresh start, their chance to finally be together without hiding. Then Amber stopped mid-sentence. She'd seen me sitting there, legs crossed, champagne glass in hand, looking at them like I'd been expecting them all along. The color drained from Raymond's face so fast I thought he might pass out. His mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. Amber looked confused, glancing between me and Raymond, like she was trying to understand what she was seeing. I took a slow sip of my champagne and smiled. "Welcome to my beach house," I said, my voice steady and cold. "I hope you don't mind that I got here first. Traffic wasn't too bad." Raymond finally found his voice. "Camila, what? What are you doing here? How did you?" He was stuttering. Something I'd never seen him do in 15 years of marriage. I stood up slowly, setting my glass down on the table. "How did I get here?" "Well, Raymond, it's pretty simple. You see, when you use marital funds to buy property while you're still married, your wife has certain legal rights. My lawyer can explain it better than me, but the short version is surprise. We're co-owners of this beautiful mansion you bought for your mistress." I walked over to the briefcase and pulled out a folder of documents. "You might want to take a look at these. Court order, property deed with my name on it. And oh, these are fun. Printouts of every text message, every email, and every credit card charge from the last 18 months. That's how long you've been lying to me, right? 18 months. Amber's face had gone from confused to horrified. Raymond, what is she talking about? You said you were divorced. You said she knew about us and that everything was finalized. Her voice was shaking now, and honestly, I almost felt bad for her. Almost. Raymond tried to step toward me, his hands up like he was approaching a dangerous animal. Camila, listen. We can talk about this. This doesn't have to get ugly. We can work something out. I laughed. Actually laughed because the audacity of this man was unbelievable. Work something out. You mean like how you worked out stealing from our marriage to buy your girlfriend a house, or like how you worked out lying to both of us for a year and a half? I turned to Amber, who was crying now. Honey, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but he's been lying to you. We're very much still married. He never filed for divorce. He was never going to leave me. He was just keeping you on the side while enjoying everything we built together. The look on Amber's face went from heartbreak to rage in about 2 seconds. She spun on Raymond, hitting him in the chest with her purse. You lied to me. You said you loved me. You said we were going to have a life together. She was full-on screaming now. And Raymond was trying to calm her down, which just made it worse. You were sleeping in the same bed as her while telling me I was the love of your life. Are you kidding me right now? Raymond was falling apart, trying to handle both of us at once and failing miserably. Amber, please just let me explain, but she wasn't having it. She threw the house keys at his chest and stormed toward the door. Explain? Explain what? That you're a liar? That everything was fake? I'm done. We're done. Don't ever call me again. The door slammed so hard behind her that the windows rattled. And then it was just the two of us. Raymond and me standing in the house he'd bought for another woman with 15 years of marriage hanging in the balance. He tried one more time. His voice desperate now. Camila, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. I'll end it with her. It's already over. Please just give me another chance. I walked back to the briefcase and pulled out another folder. You know what, Raymond? I actually prepared for this conversation. These are divorce papers. My lawyers already filed them. The terms are pretty simple. I get the family home, the majority of our shared assets, and you pay alimony. Oh, and this house. You're going to sign over your half to me at a significantly reduced price, or I'm selling it and taking my 50%. Either way, you don't get to keep your little love nest. His face went from desperate to angry. You can't do this. I'll fight you in court. Those assets are mine, too. I smiled, and it wasn't a nice smile. Oh, you can absolutely try. But see, I have 18 months of evidence showing financial infidelity, hidden accounts, and fraud. Any judge is going to look at this and rule in my favor. Plus, the kids know I told them everything. So, if you want to drag this out and make it ugly, we can do that. But you're going to lose. Raymond, you already lost the second you thought you could play me for a fool. I could see the fight drain out of him. He knew I was right. He knew I had him cornered and there was no way out. I picked up my purse and headed for the door, turning back one last time. You wanted to build a future with her. You should have been honest. You should have been a man about it. Instead, you lied. You cheated. And you tried to steal from me. So now you get to live with the consequences. Get out of my property, Raymond, and don't come back. I walked out of that mansion with my head held high, leaving him standing there alone in the house that was supposed to be his dream. The divorce took 6 months to finalize. Raymond tried to fight it at first, but once his lawyer saw all the evidence we had, he advised Raymond to settle. I got the family home, most of our shared assets, and yes, I bought out his half of the beach house at a price that made my accountant smile. That was 2 years ago. Today, I own that seaside mansion outright, and I rent it out as a vacation property. The income is fantastic, and honestly, it makes me smile every time I get a booking. My kids know the whole truth, and they've been incredibly supportive. They still have a relationship with their father, which I encourage, but they know who I am and what I'm capable of. My career is thriving. I actually got promoted to senior administrator last year. And me, I'm happier than I've been in years. The lesson I learned through all of this is simple. When someone betrays you, especially someone you love, you have two choices. You can fall apart and let them destroy you, or you can stand up, protect yourself, and take back your power. I chose the second option. I stayed 10 steps ahead. I protected myself financially, and I didn't let my emotions make me stupid. Was it hard? Absolutely. Were there nights I cried myself to sleep, more than I can count, but I never let Raymond see me break. And I never gave him the satisfaction of thinking he'd won. So that's my story. That's how I caught my cheating husband red-handed in the house he bought for his mistress. The house that became mine. Some people say I was cold, that I was calculating. Maybe I was, but I'd rather be cold and smart than heartbroken and broke. Raymond learned the hard way that you don't mess with a woman who knows her worth and knows how to protect what's hers. If you love this story, please hit that like button right now and drop a comment telling me what you would have done in my situation. Would you have confronted them differently? Would you have taken the house? I want to hear your thoughts, and make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications because I've got more real-life drama coming your way. Share this video with anyone who needs to hear that you can take back your power after betrayal. Remember, stay smart, stay strong, and never let anyone play you for a fool. You're worth more than that. Until next time, this is Camila reminding you that the best revenge isn't just living well, it's living better than they ever imagined you could. Peace.